Gary Gragg, Lafayette, California, talking to you today about Bougainvillea. A lot of people don't think you can grow Bougainvillea in Lafayette because it's too cold, but that's not true. Well, it's kind of true. If you had some varieties, they wouldn't grow. But not my favorite variety right here, okay? This one here is a variety that's derived from Bougainvillea brasiliensis, and this particular variety, I believe, is called Royal Robe. I bought it a long time ago. I've never seen it sold under that name since, so I'm not sure if that's really a good name or not. But I do know that it's different than the average brasiliensis. Brasiliensis is a big purple one, really vigorous. You see it covering big homes in colder areas, and a lot of the other varieties, like orange and white, they're just not as vigorous. But this one here is basically like a cultivar of the brasiliensis, and the difference is the size of the flower petals. These are actually petals. The actual flower is deep inside right here. See, that's the flower right there. And that's the flower petal. So what you're looking at for the color is the flower petal. But you see how large these petals are. And not only are the petals large, look at how big the leaf is on this bougainvillea. This is by far the biggest, most lustrous green tropical leaf of any of the bougainvillea varieties. And it just so happens to be one of the most cold hardy. I think it's the prettiest bougainvillea. And again, it's the most cold hardy. That usually never happens. Usually it's the ugliest plant that's the most cold hardy. You see, even Pumpkin here loves this bougainvillea. There he goes. Look, he's going to climb up and go crazy on it. Go get him, Pumpkin. Back to the case in point here. So, look at the trunk on all the bougainvilleas will eventually become tree-like, okay? There are no tendrils on bougainvillea. How does it climb? It climbs with climbing hooks all the way up, 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 up. And if you look in here closely, you will see these hooks. And you see, when the bougainvillea goes up, the hook is facing down. So it's going to climb and grab things and climb up things like that. I've seen this variety of bougainvillea growing about 80 feet up into a tree in Fresno where it gets really cold. And it was covering this big pine tree with purple all the way up and down it for 80 feet tall. It must have been a 100-year-old plant. So anyway, if you want to go with bougainvillea in the Bay Area, I think you're going to have a tough time finding this particular variety here because I've never really seen it for sale, except I propagate my own from this very plant right here. And we're going to have these available in the nursery. They're not going to be as cute as the little, perfectly trimmed ones you'll see in like the little garden centers, but it'll be this same variety, and you stick it in the ground and it'll go crazy on you, and it becomes really drought tolerant, gets really vigorous, and that's pretty much all I have to say. Bougainvillea brasiliensis from Brazil.